Good afternoon and welcome to News Blitz on ZTN. A look at our top stories. Auditor General's office hit hard by COVID-19. Harare bans catapults, machetes, knives from the central business district. Zuma seeks fraud trial postponement. And in sport, Taylor closes in on Flowers' ODI record. The Auditor General's office in Zimbabwe has been hit hard by the COVID-19 pandemic. At one site, the office had to close down after 20 staffers contracted the virus. This has delayed completion of the 2020 financial year report. And Auditor General Mildred Chiri said this when she appeared before the Parliamentary Portfolio Committee on Public Accounts on Monday.
Yes, it would be nice to have more staff coming in, but they are now very apprehensive because of this variant. But I think should the situation change or maybe for the better, definitely would want the staff to come in because we are now in the process of auditing. We're actually progressing very well with the 2020 financial year audit. But now because of this third wave, it has really put us back.
In our COVID-19 update, as at 18 July 2021, Zimbabwe had 83,619 confirmed cases. Of these, 53,453 are recoveries, while 2,622 resulted in deaths. To date, in ongoing vaccinations, a total of 1,144,379 people have received their first dose of vaccination against COVID-19, with 641,154 others receiving both the first and second doses. World Health Organization country representative Dr. Alex Gasasira says the current spike in cases calls for introspection by citizens.
If we do not do that, then the virus continues to spread. If we continue to move, if we continue to gather, if we continue to not to respect the preventive measures which we know very well, then the virus continues to spread. So we should be asking ourselves, are we complying? Are we reducing our movement to the very, very essential movement that is required? When we move out, are we avoiding crowds? Are people still gathering in crowds? If the answer to these questions are no, then the virus will continue to spread.
After being stung by a series of murders, assaults and armed robberies, Zimbabwe's capital Harare has banned the public from carrying traditional weapons such as knob carries, swords and daggers amongst other dangerous weapons into the central business district. The ban also extends to Mbare and Chitungwiza suburbs. Harare police spokesperson Inspector Tendai Mwanza says people either concealing or publicly displaying the weapons will be liable to either a fine or imprisonment.
The regulating authorities have common beliefs that carrying in public, whether openly or by concealment in public place or a public thoroughfare, or display of the following weapons in public or items capable of use as weapons is likely to occasion public disorder or a breach of peace. These are catapults, machetes, axes, knob carries, swords, knives, stones or daggers. Any traditional weapon whatsoever is likely to occasion public disorder or a breach of peace.
Well, we caught up with a man who sells such weapons in Mbare who pleaded with authorities to lift the ban.
People are no longer trading. Saka business redu zvatatombowana katatombowana hand to mouth. Even though hand to mouth achina achatombowanike. Dai government yatibatsirawo ipapo kuti tione kuti which way inokwanisa kutibatanidzira because vanofana kuti ma regulations ava vama-releasewo.
In the arts, it's Monday blues today, but not for Nyasha David. The rhythm and blues musician dropped a new jam this morning. The project is titled Danane and features Fusion 5 Mangwiro. He told ZTN that more is on the way.
So this is Danane featuring Fusion 5 Mangwiro, coming from my debut album, which is set for release on the 1st of September. And this song features Fusion 5 Mangwiro. The Advocate of Love has delivered another love song. This is the last of the love songs we hear from the Advocate of Love. We want to introduce a new Nyasha David, or more rather, a Nyasha David that you haven't seen, you haven't known yet. So, yeah, we're about to do it. Please go watch the video. The video is out on YouTube right now, and the song is out on all digital platforms everywhere. Nyasha David featuring Fusion 5 Mangwiro, Darani.
Moving on to regional and international news, former South African President Jacob Zuma has asked for his fraud and corruption trial scheduled to take place in the High Court in Pietermaritzburg on Monday to be postponed for a week. Zuma was set to make a special plea to be acquitted without trial. His lawyers say he wanted to testify orally as part of this plea. In an application to the court, Zuma's lawyers have cited violent disruptions that have prevented them from meeting their client as a key reason for pursuing the postponement. Meanwhile, the South African Banking Risk Information Centre, SABRIC, says banknotes that were stolen from the ATMs during the recent civil unrest in KwaZulu-Natal, as well as Gauteng, are useless. In a statement, SABRIC said ATMs hold cash in special containers that protect cash with dye-stain technology that is activated when someone tries to break open the container, rendering them unusable as currency. In the US, housing has become so expensive in the United States that the typical minimum wage worker cannot afford rent. According to a new report from the National Low-Income Housing Coalition, there is no state, county or city in the country where a full-time minimum wage employee working 40 hours a week can afford a two-bedroom rental. A full-time minimum wage worker can afford a one-bedroom rental in only 7% of all US counties. That's 218 counties out of more than 3,000 nationwide. The federal minimum wage is set at $7.25 per hour. Let's take a look at what's happening in sports, starting with cricket. Brandon Taylor is 187 runs short of becoming Zimbabwe's highest ODI run scorer of all time. The 35-year-old overtook Grant Flower to move into second place on the ranking during the second ODI. That's against Bangladesh on Sunday. Taylor scored 46 runs before he was dismissed and hit a wicket, and he is now second to Andy Flower, who has 6,086 ODI runs for Zimbabwe, a record that has stood since 2003. Meanwhile, Zimbabwe will hope to get some ICC Cricket Super League points in their third and final ODI against Bangladesh at Harare Sports Club. That's happening tomorrow. Let's move on to tennis, where Zimbabwe's Ben Locke won his second ATP Challenger doubles title in Kazakhstan over the weekend. The 28-year-old partnered Taiwanese Su Yu Xiu to claim their first title together. On to football news. The pandemic has certainly put many things on pause, including football careers of Eastern Region Division 1 team Graham FC. From passing the ball, they now exchange tools in a workshop. From the tracksuit, they now don the worksuit, cutting timber to earn a living. Now, thanks to their team owner, Gray Hammer, the players had a fallback plan. Our reporter, Chidochashe Manua, visited the players and filed this report.
Even pabhora pacho ndingatoti mararamiro ataita kuti achitamba bhora ka nezvatakutoita takubasa kunenge kutori nani futi kubasa kuri nani because takutowana mari dzakati wande kudarika dzataiwana kubhora.
Ngezi platinum ngatamba ku Erindhouse ngatamba ku Black Rhinos aro ti bhora dzoke boys anobetora ramiro isusu sima players izvo kushanda zvenzi ma dreams etu kuti tikatamba bhora zviri nani.
Upenyu hwangu chiwo changu ndechekutamba bhora at high sleep, but bhora rakamiswa nekuda kweCovid.
3 years ago, these players were playing competitive football with the hopes of making it to the Premier League. However, due to the deadly coronavirus, their dreams were crushed. Now the big question is, Are they ever going to make it back to the football ground to make their dreams come true? Reporting for ZTN Sport, I'm Chido Chashe Manua, Rua, Harare.
Well, from defense splitting passes to cutting timber, our work is cut out here at ZTN News Blitz. It's been an absolute pleasure. Thank you so much for making us your choice. Do stay connected with us on Twitter at ZTN News, Instagram at ZTN, and do visit our website ztn.co.zw. Wishing you a fruitful week. Good afternoon.